So, PewDiePie builds a gaming PC, and apparently he's never done it before, so let's take a look and see how he did. This video was literally uploaded just an hour ago, and this is going to be my first reaction to it, so without further ado, let's just get straight into it.
Gamer PC! I am going to build a gamer PC. How dare I call myself a gamer without doing this before?
Yes.
I've never built a gamer PC before because I keep getting them for free. I know, it's a weird problem to have.
Yes, that's my problem too. I also have that problem. Not really, I don't have that problem.
That changes today. Building a PC is super easy. Even a baby can do it. I dropped it.
Oh my god. Okay, that is just judging from that little bit of footage he had at the beginning, this did not go very well for him. I hope that he didn't damage anything, but we're gonna watch further. I hope he didn't damage anything. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, build a PC now.
Yes.
And one bite.
Cute. Dude, it's just, is it still surreal to anybody that PewDiePie is a dad now? Like, isn't that wild? This is the same man that was screaming at barrels back in 2015. And he's a dad now, a father. Man, that is just nuts. Anyways, let's keep watching.
Do this. Oishi. Is it good? No more food until the PC is done.
Hello and welcome to a slightly different angle.
I already see a based motherboard choice.
With the motherboard. Got the mag. Boom! Boom! Boom!
Come on, man.
It doesn't actually say boom. It says mortar.
Really?
Wi-Fi. Hey, your computer got Wi-Fi? My computer got Wi-Fi.
Same cringe. That did not change over the years. Still the same cringe I remember before. But honestly, I've kind of grew to like PewDiePie, especially his vlogs. Based motherboard choice, though. Very based. I honestly think that this build is going to be pretty good, just based off of that motherboard. Let's see what he got.
Oh, beautiful. Look at this. I like the look of this one. That's all I know about it.
Yeah, so do I.
Good. It looks gamer. That's how you know it's
Oh,
good.
wow.
Okay. I think I'm supposed to remove this to put in this.
First step,
Okay.
install the storage. This is supposed to be super easy.
Which way does it go?
Please tell me he does this right. Please tell me he does this right. Please tell me.
That's not a satisfying sound. Really?
Okay.
But why is it upside down?
All right.
It bothers me.
I didn't like that sound either. Okay, how does he install the cooler, though? How does he install the heatsink? How does he install the heatsink? Show me how he installs the heatsink.
Okay.
Oh, God, he's using a mechanical screwdriver for that? Oh, boy. I hope he didn't put too much pressure on it. Oh, boy.
Okay. Good enough.
I hope that
Building a
didn't,
PC for someone,
yeah.
experienced will take 2 to 3 hours. I spent a couple hours just trying to understand this first part. Okay. Thank you, Bjorn. Next up was CPU, where you literally just have to put it in. Put it in, put it
What
in.
in the world is this cringe?
We did it.
What the heck
Got
is
an
that?
Intel
What?
AMD version.
Oh, I was just gonna
Should
say.
I read these? Probably.
Okay.
Okay, I lift this. I open. And just put in. Okay.
Oh my
that's it.
God. He was really
Okay.
confident
Yeah,
installing
there's an arrow
that.
there to indicate. And then,
Wow.
Oh, this comes out. Nice.
Ooh. Okay, he's got the AMD. Let's go back a little bit. What does he got? He's got the Ryzen 9 7900X. So that's pretty good. That's a nice CPU. That'll do very good for him, I'm sure. I'm kind of curious about the GPU choice and RAM choice that he's going to pair with this. Let's take a look.
Next up, RAM, which I don't need. I'm just gonna download it. But in case, I'm getting backup RAM. I love how this one has anime.
Ooh.
Because Japan.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. What kit is this? Oh, I think that's Trident Z. Is that Trident Z? Is it? Let me see here. I'm just gonna go forward a little bit. Okay. No, it's G-Skill 6400 megahertz. Good choice, Felix. Good choice. CL30 6400 megahertz, 216 gigabytes, 6, so 32 gigabytes. That's a good choice. Good choice, Felix. I think he bought it because of the anime, but if he didn't buy it because of the anime and he did his research, not a bad kit. This will perform very well with that CPU.
Because Japan. Okay, so opening this case has been the hardest part so far. I assume these just click in, but I actually don't know in which slot.
Please tell me you put some in the right slots. Please tell me you put some in the right slots.
Is it this way?
Please.
Spoilers, it absolutely does matter which slot you put it in.
Oh, thank goodness he realized.
I'm scared of pressing.
Okay.
Okay. Actually,
So you just put them in 1 and 2?
That's not good.
Felix, you got to push them in with a little bit of pressure.
It's up and down.
Okay, he's looking up how to do it.
You think you're so funny. Mine said points up and down. You little smurf.
Okay, he got it to click in.
I hope that's not an issue. 2 and 4, I think I should put.
Yes! Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for realizing. Oh my God. So a lot of you probably don't realize this who are watching this video. And basically, if your RAM sticks are not in slots 2 and 4, and you have a 4-slot or 4-DIMM motherboard, you are not running in dual channel and you're not running at the maximum performance that your computer can utilize for the memory. Now, this doesn't matter as much for DDR5 builds like Felix is building here, but if you have a DDR4 build, I would go back and check your sticks because if you're running in slots 1 and 2 or slots 1 and 3, you're not running in dual channel, and that really matters on DDR4. You're running in single channel, so that means there's only a single channel going to that CPU to communicate with the memory, which will ultimately slow the data transfer between the memory and the CPU talking back and forth, and thus causing slowdowns on your system. So it'd be worth checking out if your motherboard actually has 4 DIMM slots to check that. Just a little bit of advice there. But if you have an AM5 build or like a modern Intel build that uses DDR5, shouldn't really matter too much unless you have really bad DDR5 RAM, because there is some DDR5 RAM models that exist that don't have the dual channel and single channel capabilities, but that shouldn't matter. Anyways, let's continue on. I'm kind of curious, now that he figured out to put them in slots 2 and 4, what is he going to do with the GPU? I'm kind of curious with that.
Let me double check that. Slots 2 and 4 counting from the CPU. Okay. I try to put it upside down. Oh, that was a good click. Okay, I see it now. Okay, that looks nice too. Nice. Nice.
Okay, so next step is to put what we had built so far actually inside the case, and now it gets a lot more fiddly.
I don't know why it feels dirty to build my new PC right next to the old one. Oh, I forgot I was
very
supposed
funny.
To, like, do the anti-static thing before you...
Actually, you don't need to do that anymore. Modern computer parts are very resilient to static. And if you're worried about static with a modern part and killing it or causing issues with it, generally that's not a problem anymore. A lot of them have anti-static protection built into them, so you don't really need to worry about it. The only thing that you really need to worry about with static electricity is smaller components like RAM, and like if it has an exposed part or area that's near an electronic. So like I would say mainly just RAM without heat sinks. So like older DDR3, older DDR4, or cheaper DDR3, DDR4. DDR5, haven't come across a single DDR5 like module that doesn't have a heatsink, but that would probably also apply to that. And then you also have the motherboard, which could be sensitive to static discharge. But like, again, most modern electronics are built now with that protection, so you don't really need to worry about that. But if you're working on an older build, it is something to consider. So like older parts, used parts that are like a couple years old now, I would say anything 6, 7 years old, you probably would have to worry about static discharge. Actually, I would even go as far as that. I'd say like 9 or 10 years old at this point, you would really only have to worry about it. But honestly, generally, most modern electronics have resilience against static anymore. So, but if you really want to be overly cautious, you can just plug in the computer power supply to the wall, flip the switch, and then the whole case is grounded. Or like the whole power supply itself, even outside of the case, is grounded. So you can just touch it to the outside casing of the power supply, and then you're able to ground yourself. Anyways, that's just a little tidbit about grounding. Let's continue watching on and see how he does.
You build, because otherwise you can zap the whole thing. I didn't do that. But I'm never static. Mindset always is. She could never build a PC. She'd explode the whole thing. Okay, so, oh, that comes up.
I'm interested in the case he picked. I'm not sure if it's an aesthetic choice or if it's just the way he wanted, like just the case he wanted for the PC, or did he look up what cases fit this motherboard? Because there's a lot of people who do that, and they just look up what cases fit X motherboard or fit this motherboard, and then they just pick that case. And I'm wondering if that's what Felix did here, because most likely if this is his first time, which it is, then he probably didn't know what case to pick. So he either one, did research ahead of time, or he just looked up his parts online and what case did these fit in and picked his case, or he just picked it for aesthetic reasons. I don't know. He'll probably explain why he picked the case in the video. At least I hope so. Just something I wanted to ask, you know.
Got all this gunk in here. So I think these will hold the motherboard. I'm just gonna put it in.
Okay. Is there any standoffs? I didn't see. Is there any standoffs? Please tell me there's standoffs. Is there? Because you need standoffs. Okay, there is standoffs. I was just gonna say, some PC cases do not come with the standoffs, or you have to install the standoffs yourself. Luckily, he picked up a case that actually does have standoffs, because if you just attach the motherboard and it's sitting directly on top of the metal case, well, you just created a short circuit. It's just going to short the ground and kill components because it's metal on metal. The whole back of a motherboard is just solder joints. So that will short out with the metal of the case, and you will inevitably kill components or activate the trip fault in your power supply. So make sure when you're building a PC for the first time that there's these tiny little indents that come off the motherboard. So inside of the case, there'll be these tiny little indents where you put screws on the motherboard. If not, look in the actual motherboard case itself and see if you have those in the kit for the motherboard. If you got a PC used and it doesn't have those, I would highly recommend like finding a set of those to put in before you assemble the case with the motherboard. And it needs to have standoffs, otherwise you will inevitably trip the power supply or kill hardware from a short circuit. So glad there's standoffs, but that's exactly what I would expect from a modern case that he's using here. So let's just keep going on.
I'm just gonna put it in. Okay, yes. Yes, that looks good. Supposed to be screws here, but I don't know. Where do I get the screws?
Oh, please tell me he uses the right screws. Please tell me he uses the right screws. Please tell me he uses the right screws. Please tell me he doesn't just put random screws in there from the motherboard kit, because there are very specific screws that you use. And if you use the wrong ones, you can either strip the holes or you can put it in too tight and ruin the case or the motherboard. So let's hope he picked the right ones here. Let's see.
Oh. Motherboard PSU.
Ah, yes, he did pick the right ones. Thank God they were labeled, though. Oh my goodness. If they weren't labeled, I would have been worried, because he would have just picked the screw that fits. And sometimes that isn't right. So thank goodness it's labeled.
I assume these? I dropped it.
Okay, no big deal. There's no power to the PC yet.
It's magnetic now. Ah!
Oh.
Okay. Cool.
I honestly don't understand the mechanical screwdriver, by the way. I get it saves you from having to tighten it yourself, but I like that physical feedback to know if I'm tightening it too much. I just don't trust a mechanical screwdriver. It makes your life easier, yes, but that mechanical screwdriver needs to have an auto stop mechanism if it feels any sort of resistance. Otherwise, I cannot trust it, just because I'm afraid of over torquing the screws. If I need to feel that resistance in the screwdriver before I know that it's in there good enough. Either it could be too loose, or you screw it in way too tight and strip the screw hole, or break something. So that's why I don't trust mechanical screwdrivers. If you want to use them and be lazy, all the power to you. Just know, I like that feedback to know that my screws are going in and that they're just tight enough and not over tight. Okay? But I won't judge you if you're using it. I'm going to judge Felix a little bit just because I don't know. I at least hope he didn't over tighten anything. We're going to find out in a second here, though.
A lot more screws than I thought. Okay, I think now is a good time. Hello, you're awkwardly behind me. To put in these. I don't know where they go. Somewhere.
What is he putting in?
So these are the buttons in front of the case.
Yes, yes they are.
What is this? Say on it. HD audio. Okay.
Oh man. So little thing I just hate is that have we really not developed the technology to just integrate all of these connectors into one cable yet? Why do they all have to be connected into separate cables? I get it's for universal case like compatibility or whatever, but you would think that a motherboard manufacturer by now and a case manufacturer would have developed something that's just a single cable that has all of them together. Now, there's people who are probably going to argue with me in the comments and say, oh, but what if the cable breaks and it's just everything's in one cable? Then you can't replace it or you can't fix it. You can't fix those connectors anyway, easily. Power to you if you actually do try and do that. But just a little thing I don't understand is just why we are still using these archaic connectors and why we haven't moved to like a new standard, which is either just a single cable or at least something easier than this. Anyways, let's watch Felix struggle to try and find the HD audio connector.
Here. Does it reach? I hope it does. Okay, one is done.
Oh, he actually got it.
It doesn't say what it is. I have no...
Bro, is that an HDMI cable? Hold on, I'm going to go back. Ah, is that a USB 3 connection? I think that's a USB. Yeah, that's the motherboard USB. At least I think it is. Yeah, that's got to be the motherboard USB. That can't be an HDMI or anything like that. That's got to be motherboard
I have no clue.
USB.
It looks like it could fit there. Yeah, that's it.
It is motherboard USB.
Correct.
Okay.
Pretty sure it goes here. Yeah.
Okay, Felix. I'm giving you props. You're figuring these out. You're figuring things out.
Step is cooling time.
Ooh. Pretty good. Not a bad choice of cooler. Although, personally, I would have went for an Arctic freezer. You're PewDiePie. You can afford it. You should have bought a 360 millimeter AIO, which I'm sure could have fit in that case. I mean, that'll work, and it's probably a good cooler. I mean, most coolers nowadays are very good, unless you're deep cool. Oof, feel bad about them. But yeah, I think this will be a pretty good fit. The 7900X, though, I'm not 100% certain that this will be enough to cool it. It's probably going to hit that 200 or that arbitrary 95°C limit quite often unless you undervolt it, but I don't think Felix is going to go that far. I think he's just going to set it up and forget about it personally. So hopefully he doesn't see decreased performance because the cooling is at its limit. I just know that some 240 millimeter AIOs are not enough for those higher powered chips like the 7900X. AM5 CPUs especially love running at 95°C unless you have a 360 millimeter AIO or a really gigantic big tower cooler like the Noctua ones. That's why I got a giant tower cooler in my build. I have an AM4 CPU, but it is a higher power TDP AM4 CPU. So that's why I decided to get that. Generally, you should not skimp on cooling. Even if your chip is a lower TDP chip, I would highly recommend getting more cooling than you need because it's always better than having less cooling. If it hits your budget so much, then maybe you should consider looking into why you can't afford better cooling and you may have bought too high end of a chip and you probably don't need it. Anyways, let's just see how he installs his cooler. I hope he knows fan orientation and case orientation, but since again, it's his first time, I'm not going to judge him too hard. But let's see.
I probably could have fit a bigger cooler in there, but I didn't think too much about it. And here we are. Has this been used? It's got already has It's
No,
pre-
Felix, it isn't. It isn't already
already has
used.
the-
They come with thermal paste.
The gunk on it is that it?
Yeah, I guess
What?
gunk is a way to explain it.
Okay. Okay, I need to. This has like a special bracket to fit over
Yes,
here.
yes, it does. Yes,
So
it
my
does.
First thing before I do anything is just to make sure it fits. It'll go like this. Quite beefy boy, which is up and down. Yeah, it definitely needs a different mount. And this will go like here. Okay, that will work. And then the fans too, actually. It's looking pretty good so far. Feel pretty confident. Feel pretty good.
All right.
You're gonna
Good on you for
You're
feeling
done.
feeling good.
Done. What do I
Ooh,
start with?
he zoomed in. He zoomed in on his PC. You could see what he was using in that pre-built of his. Let's take a look. Let's go back to that zoom scene. RTX 3080 Ti. Yes. Oh wait, you guys can't see that. Let me move my camera real quick. RTX 3080 Ti. Nice one, Felix. Nice one. It's a banger. That is a really good GPU, even in today's standards. But I can understand why he wants a better PC, because he probably wants to make better content and also wants to probably play more games. I don't know if he really uploads gameplay videos anymore. I thought it was a vlog channel now mostly, but yeah, let's just keep going.
Done. What do I start with? The fans or the bracket?
Bracket.
Maybe the fans. Look at this. Industrial PP.
Oh, okay, that's pretty funny,
Who
but
comes up with the gamer terms?
okay.
Okay.
Please tell me he installs the fans correctly. Please. I would really hate to see if he installed the fans incorrectly. I'm, again, not going to give him too much flack for this because first time PC building, no knowledge going into it, probably having to look up a lot of things off camera, but let's just see what the first orientation is that he puts for the fans.
Okay, so do I mount them like this? Like this? I have no idea.
So, instead of the ones that they came with, to match my aesthetic, I'm gonna install these ones because I don't think it matters. It's a fan. So maybe it does matter?
Actually, it does matter. A lot of people think you can just shove any old fan on a cooler you want. Some of those coolers have specific tolerances and thicknesses and also have specific screw mounts. And they will vary from fan manufacturer to fan manufacturer. So sometimes if you buy a fan and try to fit it on the cooler, your tolerance for the gap between the AIO and whatever's below it gets thicker, or sometimes is even slimmer. But it just depends on the manufacturer. Generally, what I recommend is using the fans that come with your cooler out of the box. But if you're a little more intuitive and you don't really want the fans that come with it because you think they look ugly, you can take a chance, but please do your research, which I'm sure Felix hopefully did for this beforehand. But again, I'm not going to give him too much flack because it's his first time. I'm going to keep mentioning that for those of you who are skipping around this video, because I am talking quite a lot and it's going to be quite long because I'm doing commentary over a seemingly 26-minute long video that's probably 40 minutes, hopefully, at this point.
Okay, we're testing now to see if this fits or not. I actually have no idea. It might be too beefy. Yeah, see, that doesn't fit.
Aha! Exactly what I was saying. See, the fans are too thick for the AIO, and now it doesn't fit. Felix realized.
Oh, it could fit. Maybe. That could fit.
Oh, wow. He actually got really lucky. He had like millimeters to spare with those fans. Dude, those are some thick fans. Holy cow, man. Wow. I've never seen fans that thick for a PC before. It could just be the camera zoom making them look thicker than they are, but those look pretty thick.
Doesn't look bad either. Huh. Okay, I did a bit of smuggling googling. As long as they're 25 centimeters, no, 2.5. 25 millimeters. Oh, they're not. Okay. What are these then? Oh, okay, fine.
Wow, he actually did. Oh, what was he going to say here? I'm sorry for cutting you off, Felix. What were you going to say here?
I was doing so well. Here it all goes to First of all, the fans were too big. Then I spent like an hour trying to understand which way the fans blow. How am I supposed to
Here
know
we go.
this?
So how do I know which like is up and down? I have no idea.
Sticker side is always going to be blow side. For those of you who don't know about fans, you see a sticker on the back of it that shows the amperage or the brand or whatever, that's always going to be blow. So the way he has it right now, it would be blowing air into the case. You want to make sure that you mount it the other way so that it blows air out of the case. I'll show you in a minute what the fan orientation looks like. Actually, I don't even need to. He has a visual right here. I'll zoom into it. So you see that fan on the edge of the table. That one right there is the correct orientation. And then there's another fan right there. That fan is in the incorrect orientation. So if you were mounting this inside a case, which you see where the cables or the pipes for the AIO cooler are, you would want to mount it so that the logo side is facing up inside of the case. So you don't want it facing into the case. You want it facing out of the case so that there's airflow. And there's an easy way to tell that. You just spin the fan using your finger outside of the case like this, and you keep spinning it while having a little bit of an air gap with your finger. And then you keep spinning it, and whichever way blows air is the way you should put it. So let's hope he figures that out. I'm sure he will, but I'm assuming he's probably going to Google it, most likely.
I know they need to shoot down. I just don't know. Do I blow on it? Oh, that, ooh, it's gotta be this.
No, Felix.
I figured it out because I'm kind of a genius. I figured out fan. If you just do this.
Ah, he did figure it out.
And feel air.
He did figure it out.
It blows that way. It blows this way. Well, now I'm not so sure. It blows this way, so surely I should install it like this.
Now
I'm second guessing everything. That's it. Which side do you think the fan blows? Like, do you think it blows that way? Are you sure?
I'm gonna be so sad if Mattia knows more than Felix.
It blows like that, right? I think so too. So it comes with these screws for the radiator. So I wasn't crazy for switching out the stock ones. These are slightly different, so maybe these are the ones? Oh, that's it. Oh.
Again with the mechanical screwdriver, man. I cannot. Please, if you have the option to use a regular screwdriver, stop being lazy and use a regular screwdriver, especially when you're screwing into an AIO. This just made me physically audibly cringe because, oh my God, if you even slightly over torque one of those screws, you are going to have a very bad day with your AIO. A very bad day. You will cause a leak indefinitely. If you just even ever so slightly make it so that there's like a little bit of resistance or the screw over tightens itself or it's too big or too long and goes through it, you'll make a pinhole leak in that AIO. Please always use a manual screwdriver and look and make sure that the screws fit beforehand. But I guess if you're lazy and you have a lot of money, be my guest. Again, though, I do not blame Felix. This is his first time, and I also can understand why he wants to use a mechanical screwdriver. It goes a lot faster. But again, I just always recommend you need to feel the resistance, especially on an AIO cooler, because you may or may not damage it. All right, let's continue watching. As much as this is going to make me cringe because I know he's just going to use the mechanical screwdriver on every single one of those screws.
Oh. And then, yeah, I got these neat covers for it. I really like that. Small things that make a difference.
Yeah, those covers do actually look really nice.
That's the fans done. I'm willing to accept that maybe I put them the wrong way. If that's the case, I'll have to change it later. But for now, I think I did it right. So now we do bracket. Bracket. I think it's going pretty good so far. In my head. In my little world. Okay. I think I will stand for this one. It's gonna be tight, man. This is gonna be tight.
Oh, brackets suck, man. They suck.
Everything
Everything is falling.
Apart.
Dude, that is such an unstable stand. Get a better stand for that camera, man. I mean, I saw the beginning of the video, so I already know that that camera is going to fall right into the PC on top of the motherboard. But why did he not think about that?
Will it fit? Will it fit? Yeah, kinda. It fits. It totally, smoothly fits. Nice. That's gonna look nice. Ah!
Oh, man.
Ah! No, my computer! No! No!
I'd like to point out that the camera that he's using in this part of the video is a very expensive camera. So we're going to go back a little bit. That white camera right there costs this much. I'm going to put it on screen right now, and you're going to see exactly how much that costs. Ouch. That hurts to see as someone who can't afford a camera that good.
No! No! The cables! Goodness gracious. I'm gonna put the camera here. Seems like the obvious thing to do. Are you okay? I hope.
Oh, was that thermal paste? Oh no. Oh no. Some thermal paste. Oh wow. So there's not going to be very good coverage on that because some thermal paste is off of the cooler already. This build could turn into a disaster pretty quick. I'm confident. I think Felix can get through this. I think he can get through a build. I think he can. I trust him. Let's keep going. Let's keep looking.
You okay? I hope I didn't break you. Oh. Get out of here.
Next, I just had to mount the cooler. It's pretty easy, but it's a bit weird if you've never done it before because they need like a bracket. I didn't know you needed a bracket.
Let's remove.
Yeah, so he didn't know that the stock AMD cooler brackets or whatever don't work with third-party coolers. You have to use the bracket that comes with the cooler. And I didn't know this first either. Back when I built my first AMD build 3 years ago, I didn't know this either. So I made the mistake of getting the cooler ready and getting ready to install it. And then I blundered and didn't know that you're supposed to take the stock AMD brackets off. But please tell me he at least kept the back plate, because you need the back plate on the motherboard for the cooler. Otherwise, the screws don't go in.
Stock. Oh, those are really in there, huh?
They have to torque them for a reason,
Okay,
Felix.
so they have little arrows on them. That's nice. I like when they make it for dummies. So it goes like that. Am I supposed to use this? It does go. Let me double check. It doesn't feel like it goes. What is it supposed to do? Why do they give me this? Oh, I need.
I hope he figures it out. Please tell me he figures this out.
Okay, I couldn't find the screw. I couldn't find the right screws, so I'll have to change them later. But for now, I just want something to hold it in place.
That's perfectly valid.
Really flush. Oh, because the cable is in the way. It is touching it. What if this were on top? Oh, this is super tight. I'm sorry, what? How am I supposed to reach there?
That camera, man.
God
I
damn.
can't believe that.
It's huge. How am I supposed to reach there? Get out of here. What?
I feel like if you're ever building a PC, just do it. Have someone help you. I don't know. Have no friends. Okay. I think I'm gonna break there because I spent 2 hours and I'm a dad. I got other stuff to do, but I'm very excited because I think it's starting to look like a computer, and I'm feeling confident. Machi is gonna install the rest. He's going right in here. But yeah, I'll continue tomorrow basically. You wanna help me build? It lights up. You got it right away. Yes. Whoa, so smart.
Ah, very cute.
Computer with me.
That's so cute.
Oh, the fans are all wrong. They need to be on the other side. Thank you, Bien. Finally, I learned how fans work.
Good.
Blow. Kind of a genius.
Nice joke there. Nice joke.
Confident.
I like that genius joke.
Very excited. There's gonna be a lot of cable management. I don't know why I'm standing awkwardly like this. Camera, focus on me. I solved my fan mystery. I just couldn't understand why, like, I couldn't understand which direction. There's an arrow. There's an arrow that points.
Oh my God, he actually got idiot-proof fans. Imagine that. He got an idiot-proof fan. Wow. Although most people can't really see a text that small unless you have really good eyes. Unlike me. I have to wear glasses all the time, man. Without them, I can't see anything. In fact, if I took them off now, I can still kind of see the arrow, but not really. Okay. I'm just glad it's idiot-proof.
Points the airflow. I was like, how can everyone just know? So that means I did put these wrong. I flipped them now, so they are correct. Or maybe at this point, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it and I'm just doing it wrong.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Felix is definitely overthinking everything in this entire build, which that is very common in newer PC builders, including myself back in the day when I built my first PC. I overthink everything when I was putting my PC together. I was way too overconfident. And generally, you just want to be chill and take your time and not be too overconfident and just build at a pace that's good for you. Now, the fact that it's taken Felix over a day is not surprising to me. It took about a day and watching YouTube tutorials on my phone to be able to do it. That was back in the day when I had never built a computer before. So I'm assuming he's just going to realize he's overthinking here and he's just going to take a step back and either one, watch a couple of tutorial videos himself or just research or like figure out orientations and like where things go just by feeling it out. Let's see.
I think the next, can you focus on, I think the next step is power supply. I went for
750. Oh, he doesn't have a very high-end power supply, which is making me think the GPU he picked is not particularly high-end. Let's see.
A little lower. I probably should have gone 800 because then if I want to upgrade, I don't have to change my power supply. But at the same time, I don't really care that much. And here we go. Comes with cable.
Okay, but I'm going to make a valid point here. I didn't think I needed a higher watt power supply, and I just stuck with a 500 watt power supply for the longest time. But then when I upgraded my PC, I was running into issues where my overclocked 2700X back in the day and my brand new RTX 3060 could not handle it, and it just kept crashing. I found out it was because of my power supply, and I'm like, okay, I'll get another one. So I got a 650 and I used that for a while. But then yet again recently, I just said, you know what? What if I just got a really high-end power supply that's like a couple hundred watts more than what I got before, so I never have to think about it again, and I can just keep upgrading parts. Generally, what I recommend is usually picking 100 watts over what you think you need. So like, for example, if you're building a cheap budget computer and you're putting a 4-core CPU in it or a 6-core CPU, we'll use AMD for this example, and we'll say you're putting in a 5600G without a graphics card. Well, then you probably don't need that high end of a power supply, right? Well, what if you wanted to put a GPU in there in the future? Well, then you would need at least 500 to 600 watts. So I would just recommend going 100 over what you think you need, unless you're like a baller or an experienced builder watching this video and you can buy the highest end power supply, then yeah, go ahead and do that. You probably don't need it, but you can buy it anyways. I'm just curious why Felix chose a 750 watt, and I hope to God that the GPU he picked doesn't pull that many watts. Let's find out.
Nice. Oh, so these cables are sleeved actually. That's kind of nice. Not all.
Generally nowadays, all power supply cables are sleeved. Anyways, I'm going to stop pausing the video so much because I don't want this video to like go over a long while. Let's just keep going.
All of them. I watched videos and I think we're about to enter cable hell because it's going to be a lot of cables now. We have to.
Yep, that would be correct, Felix.
To power every single unit. PCI, P8, P8. I have no idea what these things are.
And I don't expect you to,
The big one
Felix.
is the graphics card. I know that.
No, it's not. The big one is for the motherboard, but I'm sure he'll realize that in a minute.
Probably goes like that, right? The other one is probably, I have no idea. Well, that one only fits there, so maybe I should install the fan first. My first computer that I bought was when I was 18. I think I showed it off in a video, or I must have been older then, 20.
Oh,
maybe.
wow.
The
That is
entire
some really
summer
old
I'd worked,
footage.
And I saved up around 1,200, and I was gonna spend it all on a computer. I think this will be mounted like this. Or should the fan be facing out? That makes sense to me.
Okay, so this is another controversial opinion. Again, I'm sorry for pausing the video so much, but a lot of people are going to tell you to put the fan outside of the case. But in his specific case, what it looks like anyways from a distance, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and it'll be a little blurry because it's out of focus right now. But I think the only option he has is to have it facing up, which is okay, because as long as there's any airflow at all to it, that's fine. But if your PC case has like a mesh bottom or has a bottom that looks like this, I'll put it on screen right now. You want your fan facing out of the case so it can suck in fresh air. But if you don't have that option, at least have it so that the fan is exposed and can suck in air and blow it out. Anyways, that's usually what you have to consider with the power supply. Let's see what Felix does here.
Okay, power supply screws. I feel like I need the big guns.
What is he doing?
That's right.
Okay, he didn't put like too much force on there. When he was getting that out, I got a little anxious for a second. I was a little bit worried.
Nice. I should probably plug everything in before I mount it. But I don't know what the cables are. Okay, motherboard MB, got it. CPU is labeled EPS. No, it's not. But it's a 4+4 pin. I don't have that. Graphics card is a 6+2 pin, or a 12+4. What? I have 5.
Okay, yeah, I can understand why that's really confusing, Felix. I can understand. The way they do this is like really stupid and dumb. I'm going to switch my view here again so you can actually see. But what normal average person wouldn't be confused by this? I sure was when I first started. I just kind of guessed where all the connectors go and like kept trying when I first built my PC until they fit. So I'm assuming that's what he's going to do as well, unless he actually like looked up a tutorial on how to install a power supply, but we're going to find out in a second.
What? I have prettier cables. I think I'll use those.
No! Felix! No! No, 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 no. Please don't tell me he's going to use third-party cables. Please don't tell me he's going to use third-party cables. No! You're not supposed to do that! No! Felix? Okay, I know you don't like the way the cables look, but just know that third-party cables, a lot of them don't work with power supplies, and you'll actually end up damaging the power supply or shorting out a component of your build. Because usually power supplies are only designed to use the cables that come with them unless a manufacturer made a deal with another company to design separate cables that are compatible with that power supply. To put that in layman's terms, use the box cables always if you're a newbie. Do not care about aesthetics. If you're an experienced builder, you know where to look for the cables that are compatible with your power supply. But generally, what he's about to do is probably not a good idea. I would highly not recommend that. Let's hope that he at least realizes his mistake, or the build doesn't boot with those cables and he has to redo them all. Let's find out.
Yeah, that'll look good. PSLE 5.1. God forbid the name the thing what the thing is.
Yeah, I know,
It's
right?
too short.
So confusing.
God, the cable madness that this is about to become. And I mounted it the wrong way. I'm a schmuckaloni. Excuse me, camera.
It's all right, Felix. We all make those kinds of mistakes.
Okay, could actually be higher.
Still mounted the wrong way.
I'm not convinced about these cables because they're quite beefy. I can't really hide them. Actually, no, that works. I don't
really understand these things that he's doing, but I can assume it's like
These need
something
to go
he does.
all the way over here. No. Okay, it's lunchtime. Be right back.
Finally, it was time to put in the big boy, the GPU.
What did he
As
get?
a dad, sometimes the only free time I have, it's when the baby is asleep. So I built while the baby was asleep. Therefore, I didn't speak. So we will just do a montage.
Bjorn is sleeping, so I'm just gonna mark on.
What GPU did you get, Felix? Okay, you did some cable management. I see that.
I think it looks okay. So I'm gonna install the GPU.
What did he get? What did he get?
There's the GPU.
Ooh! I already have a couple ideas of what that GPU could be, but I would like to know exactly what GPU it is. Tell me.
PewDiePie PC building ASMR.
Ha!
You guys expect that this year?
No, I did not actually. He didn't say what graphics card it was, but if I had to guess, that looks like an AMD card, just by the way it is, because usually the NVIDIA cards are thicker. They're way thicker. And knowing him, he didn't get a low-end GPU. He probably got a high-end GPU because, you know, he has the money for it. Not saying like he's rich and snarky or whatever and he can afford that, but I'm just saying he's able to have the luxury of building a high-end gaming computer like he is now. I'm assuming that's an AMD GPU and it is from Power Color. I can see that. I hope it is at least. I might be wrong. I just have never personally seen a 40 series card that's that thin. So it's either a 30 series NVIDIA card or, which would be counterintuitive because he's building a new PC. I don't know why he would want to use a 30 series card over a 40 series card or 50 series. 50 series probably didn't come out when he made this video, but to me, that looks like an AMD GPU. If I had any guesses, probably a 7900 XT or a 7900 XTX, most likely. But if I'm wrong, I guess I'll correct myself in the video. We'll see. Ah, yes. The joy of putting a graphics card in a PC. I don't know why he's using that drill so much, man. Just use a screwdriver. Even that mechanical one that you were using earlier was better.
Bit of a problem. The GPU is too thick for the... not the GPU necessarily. The fans are too thick, so I can't really use them.
But then I realized I have these ones that was left over from the liquid cooler. And I'm like, I might as well use them, right? Same potato, tomato. You're not going to see them anyway. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, new fans are in. Will it fit? Please fit. Oh, it fits barely.
Oh, man. Are those fans below the graphics card? Ooh. Man, those fans are really close to the graphics card. That makes me very uncomfortable. There's still some airflow happening there, but personally, I would have left out those bottom fans and just had the GPU pull in fresh air by itself, because having two fans next to each other usually isn't the smartest decision, because they can either, one, go too fast and overdrive themselves, or the pressure between the two fans will cause one to spin slower than the other one. And air resistance, whatever, inefficiencies, yada, yada, whatever. But I'm sure it won't be that big of an issue. I mean, he's probably not going to be playing the highest end level games, so most likely it should be fine, but I don't know yet.
Okay, it fits. It fits. Nice. The only problem I have now is that these don't fit in my... How is everything incompatible? I thought I'd checked it. Okay, I found a cable. Unfortunately, it's an ugly cable, so beggars can't be choosers. At this point,
Is he using mismatched power supply cables? Oh my god, you can't do that. I already mentioned this in the video, but you cannot use mismatched cables. Oh. Oh man, this build is a disaster, but you know, again, it's his first time. I'm giving him props, but if you're skipped to this part of the video, or you just made it to this part of the video, never use mismatched power supply cables. Always use the ones that come in the box if you're a new builder, or if you're an experienced builder, you look for ones that are compatible with your power supply vendor to vendor. Either way, mixing cable equal bad. Always use the power supply cables that come with your power supply.
I just want to get this done.
This build may not boot at all. I have very low hopes of this build even starting up now.
Come on. Watch me break that GPU. Snap it enough. Goodness gracious, how fiddly this is. You should go in, just go in.
Don't force it in. Is he putting it in backwards? Please don't tell me he's putting it in backwards.
Just go in. There we go. More cables to organize, cool. That's actually what I was looking forward to. Was that it? Was that the last thing I need to plug in? Maybe. I think that was the last thing to plug in. I'm starting to feel like there's just no way this is gonna boot.
Yeah, Felix, me too.
There's too many points of failure that I've created. We'll
Okay, he's cable time.
Management. I need to make sure the GPU is actually screwed in properly.
That's interesting. I'm surprised he did that.
No, I gotta screw in the GPU. I keep thinking I'm ready, but I'm not.
Oh, I was right. I was right. Do you see the Radeon logo there? I was right. That's an AMD card. That's an AMD card. He did pick an AMD card. Okay, so it's most likely either a 7000. It's a 7000 series card. He probably wouldn't buy a 7600, so it's probably a 7800 or 7900 series card, like I said before. But I was right. It was a Radeon card. I knew it wasn't an NVIDIA card. That is a Radeon card. I'm curious to see what he's planning on doing with that, because generally NVENC is usually better for videos. But maybe he knows something I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe it's too tight because I'm thinking maybe the fans of the GPU can't spin. I just realized that. It's
Oh,
too tight.
he realized. He actually realized. Okay, the fans on the bottom are a problem. He realized.
I think. Well, I don't know for sure, but it seems like a risky thing.
Yeah, the GPU does need breathing room. I would recommend at a bare minimum, if you have a case as small as his, to have at least 1 inch to 2 inches of clearance between the graphics card and the fans. That is like bare minimum. Anything less than that and the GPU is probably overheating.
Thing. No, they're okay.
Oh,
it fell. It fell in. The magnetic thing fell in. Oh, it's deep as no.
ooh, F.
No. Oh, I can fish it out.
Oh, he's lucky. He could actually fish it out.
All right. It looks like I'm not finishing today because the graphics card is too beefy. It's not gonna fit in there. It's a shame because I thought that one would be really good, but I checked compatibility. But that's how it goes sometimes. So I'm gonna opt for another one, but I probably won't. I'll do that tomorrow. So, no big deal. Yeah. Otherwise, I think everything is looking good. It's looking clean.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, Felix. You're doing a pretty good job considering all the things that you've had to go through, all the struggles. I would say that that's looking pretty nice, actually. Power supply, not so much. I still see there's some mismatched cables there, but I don't know. We'll find out. I wonder what graphics card he's gonna pick to put in there that'll actually fit.
Looking forward to finally test boot this tomorrow. All right.
I ran into such a big problem here. The GPU sits too low and it touches the fans underneath it. So the fans don't spin. They're not supposed to do this. They're supposed to do this. I spent so much time trying to understand why. And Googling it online, apparently my motherboard, the GPU sits a little lower, which makes no sense.
Actually, it does make sense, Felix, because a lot of those motherboards are meant to be in a bigger case than the one you're putting it in. If you're making a small form factor build, generally those motherboards, you want to find one that has a higher bracket. And where that NVMe was located, he showed a photo of that. Let me go back to that real quick here. Yeah, right here. You see this? So if the NVMe was located underneath here, that would have been fine. But since there's an NVMe on top here, the PCIe bracket or PCIe connector here had to be moved down on the motherboard. So personally, I would have picked a motherboard that has the PCIe insert higher up, but he picked one that had a dual NVMe setup here. You can do NVMEs on other boards, but in small form factor, this is hell. I've never personally built a small form factor motherboard, but yikes. This just looks like hell. I don't know how you make a small form factor build and make it work. Felix is having some trouble with that. His is like mid, actually, not even quite small form factor, but it's like mid factor, sort of. It's like in between small and mid. Anyways, let's see how he fixed the issue.
Which makes no sense. I kept debating, do I switch out the GPU for something else? What's the easiest way to fix this? In reality, I could just skip the fans underneath. The GPU
Yes, he realized. Oh my God, he actually realized you do not need fans underneath. Yes, he realized. Okay, awesome.
has fans. It doesn't need fans underneath it necessarily, at least. I've seen a ton of people online. They didn't put the fans underneath, but I think it's okay, right? Well, anyway, as a normal person, I switched out the entire motherboard.
Oh my God. Okay, honestly, first world problem. Not even gonna lie. I can understand Felix's frustration. And he just switched out the whole motherboard. Honestly, that works too. He found a solution to the problem his own way. Props to him. But yeah, you could have just removed the fans and then you wouldn't have had to buy a new motherboard. But he found a solution either way, so props to him.
I wonder. There's something wrong with me. I could have been finished. I don't know. I just wanted this build to be clean. Okay?
Whoa, what the hell is that? What kind of a motherboard is that? I've never seen anything that looks like that before. Is that also a different cooler? No, has to be the same cooler. There's no way he got a different cooler as well.
Okay. I wanted it to be nice. I didn't want.
Ah, yes, that is the correct motherboard. This is what I was talking about. The MSI one is really weird and awkward because it has two NVMEs. Generally on a small form factor, you only want one NVMe because that way there's headroom for other parts because the PCIe connector on the motherboard, or the, whatever they call that, the slot, the PCIe slot, is in the correct position so that there's room. On that MSI motherboard he had, it was not in the right position because there were two NVMEs. And it looked like he was only using one, so I don't know why he picked a dual NVMe slot in the first place, but yeah, this'll work. This'll 100% work. And it has two DIMM slots. Perfect. He doesn't have to worry about the stupid single channel or dual channel thing. It'll just be dual channel. Perfect. All right.
On a dilly daddle. I didn't want to just skip ahead. So it came with a lot of extra effort. Only to run into more issues. Now all of a sudden, the fans on top are too big. For some reason, building PC, it's not that big in Japan. So to order new fans would take a couple days, which is so annoying because like I just wanted to finish. I also decided to switch out the cooler because I knew I could fit, what is it called, like a 360 or something?
Oh, good job, Felix. Good job, Felix. Okay. He actually went with a 360 AIO. Good. He won't have cooling issues then.
240. The case could fit it. I thought, why not? That meant that I had to swap out the power supply. So at this point, I had pretty much...
What? Swap out the power supply for a cooler? Excuse me? I need to hear that again. I need to hear that again.
Power supply.
Oh, wait. Popped into my brain real quick. Sorry, I'm an idiot. I didn't realize. The reason why he had to do that is because he needs a small form factor power supply. He was using a standard full-sized power supply. Actually, that was probably what was causing most of the issues. For a small form factor, you need to use an SFF power supply. If you use a full-size power supply, nothing's gonna fit. So I guess he realized that, and I realized that too. I didn't even tell he was using a full-size power supply. So this is probably gonna make a world of difference.
So at this point, I had pretty much the goddamn sun. Can I just record? There we go. This became like a whole Ship of Theseus meme. I pretty much changed out everything except the GPU and the CPU. It became a bit silly, but I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed trying to make the most out of this, and I think the result was actually worth it.
Wow. Bravo, Felix. Bravo. That build looks Sexy.
I think it came out super
I
clean.
love it.
Not having so much RGB made it more stylish, and I think it fits me better.
I see you are a non-RGB enjoyer as well, Felix. Thank you. I don't get why people think RGB rainbow puke looks good. It doesn't. Here's the case I'm using right here. I'm going to put it up on screen right now. It's an older case, but it doesn't have RGB puke, so that's why I like it. And if you like RGB puke, good on you, but personally, I hate the way all those lights look together. So I hate RGB altogether, actually.
Better. It runs so well now. It runs really cool, even playing games on high setting. I don't even play games that much anymore, so I don't even need it. A thing that I really enjoyed as well was messing with the settings and trying to improve the computer with BIOS, overclocking it, tweaking to make it boot faster.
Wait,
This is
Linux Mint user! Based as fuck. Linux Mint user. Wow. I did not take Felix as a Linux user. That is wild. Or is he using Manjaro? Well, he's using Linux regardless. I don't know if that's exactly what the distro is. It could be a different distro. I could just be stupid. But to me, it looked like Mint just because it kind of looks like an M. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but damn, I did not take him for a Linux user. I thought he stuck with Windows, but I guess he is that kind of guy. He's a professional creator. I can see why he went to Linux. He also doesn't game that much. So yeah, I could also see why.
This is really fun. I enjoy doing that. I totally see why people enjoy building PCs. I love doing it. Now I can finally call myself a gamer.
Oh man, that was a nice way to end off that video. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to put in my final thoughts here at the end of the video. So I would say overall, Felix did about how I expected for a first-time builder. Granted, a couple of things that I would have done right from the start, and I will admit, I did not notice some of those things that he did wrong, but still overall, great job, Felix. Good job for trying something new you've never done before. And I give you props and welcome to the PC building rabbit hole. We hope you stay. It is a very deep rabbit hole. And you can do lots of cool things. Either way, thanks for watching this reaction video. I don't do this type of content very often, but I just saw this video come out from PewDiePie, and I've been watching him ever since I was in middle school back in 2014. So watching him build a PC, and I figured my whole channel content is based off of PCs or whatever. Either way, I'm just rambling. Thought I would react to the video. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe, do whatever. Yeah, I don't care. Thanks for watching.